Commonwealth Sports Betting coming to you live April 15th, 2023, a Saturday here in Virginia, a beautiful one. The sun's shining, as you can see behind me and off to my left here through the windows. You can't see that, but I'm telling you, it's a glowing. It's a nice Saturday here, good Saturday for a full slate of baseball. Hope everybody's having a good day out there, a good weekend, good start to your weekend. Just hope it's a good one for you. Last night, Friday night show, we gave another sweet one, Anaheim Angels, the LA Angels, who were so kind as to leave 26 individuals on base. They had 11 team left on base. They were 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and they doubled Boston's output in hits, but lost the game by 2. So, again, I've been looking at some different metrics with runners in scoring position to see if there's something I'm missing there. None of the teams I'm really seeing that I'm going, having trouble with right now, that I'm losing on some of these plays where their stats look like, when you look at the stats and not the score, it looks like they probably should have won the game or the game should have flown over, whatever the case may be. So just continuing to dig, continuing to grade the plays. But listen, this is a long season. If you're not going to hear panic in my voice, you're not going to hear, oh my henny penny, the sky's falling. Again, we talk about it pretty much every show, but discipline and bankroll management, if you're using discipline and bankroll management, you're in the game long term. If you're using multiple outs, you're in the game long term. If you're buying the best possible number, you're in the game long term. It's a huge season, baseball. This isn't football where, you have a 1-4 Saturday and you lose your mind. You stay the course, you refine as needed, and that's what we're continuing to do. So that's where that fell last night. Not impressive on my end, but still, we move on to tomorrow. So looking at a nice little slate today, just looking at a few different games. Wanted to bring up some pretty cool little tidbit anyways. So Minnesota this year, Minnesota starting pitchers are averaging 17 outs per start. So that's basically 5 2/3, right? 15 to 17 outs. So Minnesota starters are averaging 5 2/3 per start this year, and they have yet to have a starter go less than 5. So again, I haven't dug back into all that to see if they were all quality starts, but every start was over 5 innings for Minnesota up to this point. So that's pretty cool little nugget for you. If that helps you at all, get on board that Minnesota starter train. Sorry, I got something in my eye, but all right, we're good now. So that was a little nugget I pulled out, just kind of looking through Minnesota's my data book, my stat book on Minnesota today, and I was like, you know what, they haven't had a starter that hasn't gone 5 innings yet this year, and of course their record shows that again, pitching. So starting pitching helping Minnesota off to a good start. Another cool thing this time of year is I'll break out my, I always keep a sheet with around, I try to compile it pretty close, like within a week of opening day, because obviously the numbers have been hammered out, but I'll compile all the teams, what their regular season win total was, what their odds to win the division, the league, and the World Series were. And that's where you're going to kind of start to find some value. You never want to buck a streak. You never want to say a team that's lost, 6 of their last 8 is going to all of a sudden win 6 of 8. But when you start to see that trend turn, once you see that little tipping point where they go from, this is a team we thought was going to win, let's say 88 games this year, and they're off to a 3-9 start. Okay. That's obviously not on pace for in any way for 88 wins. Once you start to see that team start to trend more back toward the mean, back toward what the expectation was, once you see that start to happen, then you can kind of keep an eye on that team, and that may be a play on team for a few games going forward until the numbers recorrect. Okay. Because the numbers are going to be based around the start, how they're playing currently, that what they're producing now. And they're not going to be based on what they were expected to do in the beginning of the season. So if you find a team that was expected that, everybody's kind of predictions had them having a much better year than they're off to, keep an eye out for line changes, how that line moves. You may see them in more dog spots as they're struggling, and then they're going to have to kind of trend through a pick 'em into being like a favorite spot and a short favorite spot. So that's just something to look for that I kind of keep an eye on. Again, as we hit this 10% mark in the season, 16 games in, that'll be things that I'll start to pay attention to a little bit and look at moving forward. What else? We talked about correlated plays yesterday. I wanted to touch base on that. So today, I didn't personally bet this. I didn't personally give it out to the clients, but I did look at a scenario just to kind of explain what I'm talking about. And, I know it's pretty simple to some of you, to others it may not be. But if you're you're handicapping, the National League, and that's all you're looking at. All right, I did that. Like I said, I did that for a lot of years during the DH because I felt it was better baseball, but that's neither here nor there. So if you're looking at the Dodgers-Cubs game today, it looks like Grove v. Tyone. Tyone, the former Pirate, former Yankee, now a Cub, getting the start out on the West Coast against the Dodgers. So again, most baseball handicappers have kind of stances on pitchers. That's a guy I like. That's a guy I fade. In the right spot, I'm always going to fade him. They're looking at scenarios where, we may fade him against, good fastball hitting teams or good off-speed hitting teams or, whatever the case may be. So bettors tend to take stances on pitcher. If you are the type of bettor that takes a stance, is preferring to take a stance moving forward against Tyone, you're obviously getting the Dodgers today in Dodger world a pretty good price. Neither team is really tearing it up, I don't think, record-wise. I think they're pretty comparable record-wise, off to a similar start. But I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. Against right-handed pitching, the Dodgers are hit very well against right-handed pitching, to be expected. They're a good hitting team. Chicago, on the other hand, does not hit well against right-handed pitching. With two right-handed starters in the bump, you have to give a little edge to the Dodgers. I don't think anybody watching this is going to say I'm crazy to say the Dodgers have a better hitting lineup than Chicago. Certainly, that a case could be made. Obviously, I don't think, again, some may say Tyen's the better starter in the game. I wouldn't stand up and argue that. But if you kind of have a stance against him a little bit this year, or maybe looking for some regression from him, and you wanted to take a stance on the Dodgers, not only do you get a what's generally considered a pretty low price on the Dodgers at home, minus 145. And again, I just checked these prices before, maybe 2 hours before the show. So just going with what I was looking at then. If you wanted to, you were locked in to fade Tyone in this spot. You like the Dodgers. You like the way they hit right-handers. You like the fact they're at home. You can tie in whatever other stuff that you personally look at. But so you lay the 145 with the Dodgers. Okay, there's one bet. Then you could take the Dodgers laying a half run line, first five, plus 102. There's two. Well, if your concept is Tyone as a fade right now, and you feel like your metrics and data are pointing to that, then obviously the LA Dodgers team total at 4.5, you could also bang that over. Now, again, I pulled this example because it was a pretty decent price on LA at home, and I could see people leaning to want to bet them against the Cubs. Obviously, if you look at regular season wins, again, the Dodgers are supposed to have far more regular season wins than the Cubs were forecast to. So the juice on that Dodger team total is minus 133. So, it's up to you if you want to lay that. But again, if you think you're seeing that game clearly, that's a good correlated play right there. If it's something, if you find yourself falling on the Dodgers, ask yourself, why am I taking the Dodgers? Do you expect the Dodgers to score 5 or more to win the game against the Cubs? Or are you saying this is going to be a 3-1 game and a pitcher's matchup? That's fine. I mean, whatever your data leads to. But if you're looking at the Dodgers, you're looking at them winning the game, scoring a decent amount of runs to do so, and maybe chasing Tyone before he goes too deep in the game, there's 3 correlated plays you could lay there. And again, there's other avenues you could take as well. You could fade Tyone's. You could go under Tyone K's. You could go, there's a lot. There's a run hit. There's a couple combination bets if you're into that kind of thing. I am not, but I've seen them listed. So we talked about it yesterday. I said I was going to cover it this weekend. If I see one again tomorrow that is a potential for it, if your positions line up on the two teams, then we'll talk about that one as well. But today, there's LA Dodgers are a team that I'm probably going to bet very, very little of this year just because of the prices. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not the type to lay minus 300, minus 250s. There's guys out there that do that. There's services out there that recommend those plays. If that's your thing, go for it. I mean, it's fine. Just know you have to win at an awfully high rate all season to stick and stay in baseball, laying those kind of numbers. That 145 number on the Dodgers, while it's low for the Dodgers, is still a high number for me to lay. I like to, like I said, if I can get my year in baseball under less than minus 110, minus 109 or less, then that's just, again, I'm needing to win less over in a tough sport to make a sustained profit over the season. So there was an example of what we talked about yesterday. I wanted to touch back touch base back on that because I did have a question about that. So I hope I covered that yet in yesterday's video and today with an actual example of how you would make a correlated play. On to today's comp selection. Let's see here. We are going to the Queen City, Cincinnati. Cincinnati hosting Philadelphia today. When I looked at these lines this morning, it was minus 104. Cincy was minus 104, Philly minus 106. Strom, the left-hander, versus Ashcraft, the right-hander. Strom from Philly is basically throughout his career has been more of a middle reliever. He has much more. He's like 48 holds in his career, and he only has 27 starts. I think that's right. Yeah, 27 starts in 210 games pitched, and he has 27 starts. So he's obviously not a traditional starter. Strom, Ashcraft, not a big data sample on him, right? He's 21 starts on his fairly short major league level career. I did watch Ashcraft pitch against the Pirates once this year, and I watched him pitch in his second game. I just can't, off the top of my head, remember who that was against. But he's logged innings as well. 13 innings pitched, 10 hits, 3 earned runs. So he's pitched 13 innings in 2 games, and he's yielded 3 earned runs with a 1.08 whip. I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Ashcraft at this early. I know it's the early stages again of the season. And the data on the numbers on Strom aren't necessarily bad. The one number that kind of tilts this game in Cincy's favor, in my opinion, is that Cincy facing the lefty Strom is in the top 25% in 2 categories, top 50 in 2 others. So they hit left-handers well up to this point, whereas Philly and right-handers, not good. They're 5 of the 6 metrics I look at are below the midpoint of the league against right-handed pitching right now. So, I know Philly's traditionally, late the past few years have been dangerous with a bat, and they've been a team that can score a lot of runs. The game is being played in the Great American Ballpark. People refer to it as the Great American Small Park. Didn't look at the weather necessarily today because not really looking into the total. The total in the game was 9.5. So you'll see totals in that park obviously climb as the temperatures warm and the data starts to sift itself out from the pitch clock. But we settled in on Cincinnati at minus 104 against Philly. That's Strom for Philly, Ashcraft for Cincy. And that is a 4:10 Eastern start in the Queen City. So another comp selection. Let's see if we can get the comp plays turned around. We've had a couple days. This probably the last 4. We had 2 losing days. We're still hanging in pretty tough for the season. Since we started, since Commonwealth opened with clients, we have our year to date is still very much in the profit. We are up there. We'll probably make a post at the end of the weekend that'll cover where we stand through the official date we started and today. So we'll update you that with a bet stamp photo. Hopefully we have a good day today. We did give our clients 5 total plays of that. Cincinnati was 1. So let's see how we do. We're looking to bounce back on the comp selection. Clients got 5 today. Again, contact us, www.commonwealthsportsbetting.com, at CW Sports Betting on the Twitter, at Ray Gray Fox on the Twitter, and at Best Pie Bets on the Twitter. I'll be coming to you back live tomorrow, 12:45 Eastern, to cover the Sunday slate. Pie Bets will be back Monday. Get pretty hyped for that because playoff matchups are set. I saw the South Point posted their numbers on Twitter for series prices and all that stuff. So get pretty excited. Pie's going to be dialed in. Look for some series plays from him, from what I understand. He may not be into a lot of individual games, but I know he's going to give you some, give our clients definitely some really good series plays. He's been strong on hockey for multiple seasons now. And again, if you're wanting to deciding when to jump in with Commonwealth, I would highly recommend contacting us. We'll put you in direct contact with Ethan, and he will dial up a playoff package that suits you best, your needs, your budget. That's what we do here. We're the home of the custom package. Under 15 minutes, whoever had the under today, you are a winner. We're at 14:30. I don't get fined at under 15 minutes, but the boss is tough, so I'm trying to keep it dialed in. I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Enjoy the weather. I hope it's nice where you're at, like it is here. We will see you guys back again on Sunday tomorrow, 12:45 Eastern. Have a great Saturday, everybody.